Hi there, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge Moonband 3-light large semi-flush. This is the 124252. It's also a smaller single light version of this. Check that out too, because it's also pretty cool. It's a 124251. Let's get into the fixture itself. It's kind of my go-to guy for people that need a semi-flush that doesn't have a huge amount of design, is very flush to the ceiling as far as it could be as a semi-flush, and gives a tremendous amount of light. And that's what this can do because it has those 3 sockets. So let's get into the size of the fixture itself. It's only 6.5 inches from the ceiling to the bottom of the fixture, which is the bottom of the glass. The diameter on it is coming in at 15.9, and that's a metal to metal measurement. The glass on it is 13.56 in diameter by 5 inches tall. So a couple little details on this. So why don't we talk about the canopy on it. The canopy is going to go on your ceiling. It's a round 5-inch canopy and it's painted white. It's one of the few, if only this one and the smaller one, that are painted white. And the idea is that it's going to be looking like it's hovering under the ceiling. So basically you have your canopy and then you have your glass underneath it. And the canopy is white so it blends in with your white ceiling. It's a very cool optical trick. Plus, it's going to be hiding on the inside of this larger piece, and it's only 5 inches in diameter, so it hides pretty well. It's going to go over your standard 4-inch junction box. To show you a little bit more information about that, we're going to touch base on installations instructions and show you right now. If you're on the page for this on Handmade in Vermont, look over on that side of the screen. Midway down, you're going to see a link. It's going to say, click here for installations instructions PDF. Open that up for me. It's going to show you a full parts list. It's going to show you information about the glass, how to put the glass on. It basically just kind of scoops in and hangs, which is really simple on this, but it's going to show you some nice information about that canopy and how it goes on your J-box. So take advantage of that if you guys can. Let's talk about lamping on this. It's going to be pretty important. Before we do that, we'll talk about glass really quick. This is going to be available in 2 different types of glass. One of them is going to be called opal, and that's your white glass, and I'll talk more about that later in the video. The other glass option is called sand. Sand looks like sand on the beach. It's kind of a light coffee ice cream, and you can see it's a little bit more organic and earthy. Okay, so these are your 2 glass options. So now let's talk about what's going on inside of this as far as lamping goes. You're going to have 3 of these sockets, these medium-based sockets, kind of pinwheeled out from the center, so the bulbs there are going to be on their side. The recommended bulb size is an A19. This is a standard size light bulb we all grew up with. Very easy to get, no big deal there. So if you want to stick with incandescent, you can do that. It's going to be 3 60-watt bulbs. And they cap you at 60 watts because of the heat generated by an incandescent bulb. But if you want to go LED, you can play around all you want. So here's the deal on that. You can still stick with the A19s, and I can generally find these up to 100 watt equivalent if I really scout around, but it's going to be easy to find them at a 60 or a 75 watt equivalent out in the marketplace, which means basically like a Lowe's or a Home Depot or Ace Hardware or True Value. Your grocery store is going to have these bulbs, so don't worry about that part of it. The other thing is, when you get into the max, remember, it's going to be because of the heat generated by an incandescent bulb, but you can play around with other bulbs if you can get them in. So this is an A20. It's a little bit bigger. I'm not sure if it's going to fit in there, but you can buy these and try them out. You can get these at any hardware store. A20s are available on like Amazon and those kind of places too, or Lowe's or Home Depot. And they're just slightly bigger. So there's no reason why you can't play around with these kind of things and see how they work. Because these I can find up to 150 watt equivalent pretty easy. This is actually 100 watt equivalent. But at the end of the day, there's 3 sockets. If you've got 3 75 watt versions of this equivalent LEDs, or even jumped up to that 100 watt, that's a huge amount of light. Do you need that much light? Maybe, maybe not. It's really going to be up to you guys. The color of the light coming out of these bulbs offered to you out in the market is going to be varying. 2700 Kelvin is going to be super yellow, like a setting sun. They're going to offer these bulbs to you in something called daylight, which sounds like it should be a warm light, like sunlight, but it's not. That's that bluish white light you see on an overcast day or maybe in a convenience store. That's going to be 4000, 5000 Kelvin on that Kelvin scale. What we like to use in our showroom is warm white or soft white, and that's going to be 3000 Kelvin. That's the light coming down on me right now from the bulbs above. That's what these guys are up here. These are 3000 Kelvin warm white, soft white bulbs that we like to use. So, I would still probably go for maybe a 60 to a 75 watt equivalent, get 3 of these. And if you need to dim it, just make sure the bulb says dimmable. I want to touch base on Hubbardton Forge's opal glass for just a second. So all of Hubbardton Forge's glass to begin with is going to be hand blown. This piece is hand blown first in clear, then they're going to come in and they're going to blow another layer of white glass on the inside of this. The third step is they're going to take and they're going to sandblast the whole thing on the inside and the outside. That's going to give you this beautiful, mellow, translucent, milky piece of glass. When you look at this and you can see the layers are actually piled up on the inside of this. Hubbardton Forge is very obsessed about details on all of their pieces, including their glass, and that's why you're here, because you're probably just as obsessed about little details as well. Let's get into metal finishes now. If you are on the HandmadeInVermont.com website, look over in the red tabs with the pictures in them over there. You're going to see a Finishes Help Guide tab. Open that up for me. It's going to be a video there of me talking to you guys about the differences in Hubbardton Forge finishes, how they can look on different types of forging. I'm going to be referencing a chart just down below, so scroll down a little bit. You're going to see a chart. You can click on that chart, so you can click on dark smoke, you can click on soft gold, doesn't matter. Big page will pop up showing you lots of different things in that finish. You can go back to the chart and you'll notice there's letters A's on them, letter B's on some of those things, and that's going to be showing you this range of variants that you can expect to see on different translucent finishes, but I'll talk about all of that in the video, okay? Okay, showroom. Our showroom in Vermont has over 400 Hubbardton Forge fixtures. This is the biggest showroom in the world of Hubbardton Forge. No other showroom is like this. Hubbardton Forge doesn't even have their own showroom. They use this one. What's on display? We have a great tab on that. And those same red tabs, you're going to see a what's on display page. So open that up. It's going to show you everything we have on display, and including which finish, which shade, all of those things, and what kind of glass it's on there. We're open every day except Sunday, 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have an amazing clearance center. Clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's returns, discontinued stuff, showroom samples. You have to come here to use it. Can't call us or email us about it, but it's definitely worth coming in to look at if you're in Vermont. Plus you want to use the showroom anyway, because there's just so much great stuff here to see. Our number in Vermont, 802-446-2400. You can email us 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Love to answer emails, and it's sales@HandmadeInVermont.com. So when you order from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is going to be free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. No tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont. And we're the only dealer with 90-day returns, no restocking fee. Nobody else does that. Some larger items are going to be non-returnable. It's going to be really important that you are looking at the fixture on that page and kind of scroll down under the description. It'll tell you if that is the case. And that's usually for really big, giant, huge fixtures, mostly that go out on pallets. Okay, that's it. Rush program. Let's talk about that. So rush program, Hubbardton Forge generally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to go out the door. That's production time before your transit time. You always have to add that on too. We offer a rush program that takes you from that 3 to 4 weeks down to a little under 2 weeks. It's a very small addition per line item. So if you have like 1, 2, 3 items, like let's say 3 or 4 outdoor sconces, and they're all the same size and they're all the same finish, that's one line item. So it's very inexpensive to rush those kind of things. Don't be afraid to email us and ask about that. Okay, so that's really it. If you guys have any other questions, let us know. We would love to see you in our showroom sometime. And thanks for stopping in.